Peace, 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 family. Come on in. I'm driving on the road, and I hope that my Wi-Fi doesn't fail me while I'm live right now. But come on in, guys. I just received a telephone call from my mother. While I'm actually on the road, I'm headed to Charleston, South Carolina, and my mother called me. They're getting ready to read the George Floyd verdict. They're getting ready to read the George Floyd verdict. And so I had her, I said, well, turn it up, Ma. So she's, watching television. And so she turned it up, and we heard them declare that George Floyd was, not George Floyd, but Derek Chauvin, however you pronounce the white cop's name. They said they found him guilty on all charges. And so my mother and I began to get into this dialogue because she's like, when is the and I was like, I don't know. Is this verdict a win for Black people? Because we've been down this road before, and so my mom's perspective was, well, at least it'll send a message. And this is what she was saying: peace to the fallen, peace to you, peace to you. I'm talking about the George Floyd verdict and what it means for Black people. A lot of Black people are running around here celebrating the verdict right now. I'm celebrating. They are happy. They're like, we won, we won, we won. We've been going through this hell for 500. I know people say 400, but we got to go back. I mean, you do your history. We've been here for like almost 500 years. And so we've been going through this hell. And so we've seen this thing that Dr. Amos Wilson talks about, progression and regression. Go get his book, The Falsification of African Consciousness. It's a small little book, a brown book, The Falsification of African Consciousness by Dr. Amos Wilson. And I want to say around like within the first 10 or 15 pages, he talks about progression and regression and how Black people were in this constant cycle of regression and progression. So we've been, we win some battles, lose some battles. We win some battles, we lose some battles. But what I want Black folks to do is to keep your eye on winning the war, okay? So people are celebrating right now. We won, we won. But what I want, and I want Black people to understand that this verdict wasn't about justice. This verdict wasn't about, we just want to, do right by Black people. We want to show, we want to take a stance against the crimes committed to Black people. It wasn't about that at all. This was about the U.S. That's what this really was about. It's not about justice for Black people. Oh, no, 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 no. This is about white folks saving face, because you got to understand, when George Floyd, when that white cop, Derek Chauvin, or however you pronounce his name, when he had his knee on that Black man's neck for 8 minutes and 40 some odd seconds or 50 some odd seconds, the world erupted. Think about that. The world erupted. I mean, even the other Euros and other countries were disgusted. I mean, literally, the world erupted. So they were going to found them guilty. I don't want Black people running around thinking that they found them guilty because, things are just getting better and, this was a win for Black people. We're cracking down on this. No, no, no. This was about saving face. This was about the United Snakes of America saving face. And so we get so pumped up when we win a little bit and then something happens. Like, think about it. George Floyd then got murdered. How many Black men and women have been murdered by these cop killers since the death of George Floyd? I mean, this has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. So I don't want Black people to get happy over these little battles that might be won. We need to keep our eye on winning the war. And winning the war is winning complete freedom for our people. Full and complete freedom for our people. So, I mean, I know everyone's talking about the verdict right now. I'm not going to hold you long. I was just in the car riding, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go live and just talk about this for a second. Black folks posting already. You know our people. We start getting excited, and nothing's happening. We getting excited. Where's the legislation being passed that protects the civil rights of Black people? And we got civil rights on the damn books. So we've been down that road before, during Reconstruction, during the 60s. we haven't won until the battle has been won. And that battle is full and complete freedom for our people. All right? So I'm not going to hold you long. I know you in the building. I see you, Sister Anusha, Brother Tito District, Wise Wisdom Bars. I see Sean P. is in the building. I see you, Tiffany, in the building. I see you, Shakara King, Black, in the building. Thank you for tuning in, just listening to my thoughts. My family, they laugh at me all the time. They say I go on these, they call them Kanye rants when I just go off, you know. And I just, so, I still have my rants with my family, but I also have another family, and that's you all who are tuned in right now. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope that you all enjoyed the video I did. It was last Friday where I had I wore a blonde wig. I was talking about black women, and the question was, do black women strive to look like white women? And so if you haven't watched that, family, you got to go back and check it out. You have to go back and check it out. Oh, God Killer's in the building. Hold on. We got God Killer in the building. God Killer.
What up?
What's going on, God Killer? I was getting ready to close out. I didn't think that you were going to make it.
I was sitting on there the whole damn time.
Hey, what are your thoughts on the verdict? I already gave mine. What's your take on the verdict?
I mean, for me, I think family got justice. I ain't worked the hell with everybody and what we think. I'm a little different. I think his family got justice. They think they got fair payment for his murder, and that's what the fuck it is. It is what it is. I don't make it more.
Hey, you gotta watch your language. Got the kids in the building. You gotta watch. Yeah. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, like I said, it is what it is. He got, his family got justice for his murder, and the police got his just propers, and they got proper payment for it. So it is what it is. I'm not thinking that it extends to everybody, but it does set a precedent, right? And what's the precedent? That it sets a precedent, for actually getting, making it okay. Once you start prosecuting people or say prosecuting drug dealers and stuff like that, it sets a precedent. And so, now we can see that that the police, deserve to go to jail for crimes they did. And that's just for everybody. So I think with that, I'm gonna take it is what it is. I'm not gonna make more than what it is and less than what it is, right? I'm you can't say this family didn't get justice. They did. They got justice. So that's all we ever asking for. I don't even think we be asking for extra stuff. Just do your daggone job, man. Lock them up, man. It was crazy what he did. Lock them up. That doesn't change our relationship between white people. It doesn't. But what it says is, you just ain't run out there killing black people. We can get, all the names of all the black people that was murdered by police. See, I know you know that. And I'm saying, what about I forget the guy's name in New York where the police took him out. He was on cigarettes. They should have went to jail. You hear what I'm saying? So I'm glad. I'm glad they he deserved to get locked up. Now let's see what the sentencing gonna be. It ain't over with. They gonna give him 20 years probation.
You said when he gonna get 20 years probation?
Years probation, yo. Oh man, boy, it ain't over with yet, yo. It ain't over with yet. Yeah, but I'm just glad for his family, though, Doc. I'm not extending it to all black people. I'm not doing all that. I'm simply saying for his family, because I didn't lose nobody, right? I said his family lost somebody. So I'm glad that they got their day in court. That's what I'm glad. That his family seen justice. I ain't gonna make it more than what it is. Right there is enough.
Right. No, and I respect that. Like you say, and I love how you keep saying I ain't gonna make it more than what it was. They got compensated. They got compensated monetarily. He was found guilty for the murder. I do wonder what the verdict, what the actual sentence is going to be. And I'm with you. I think it's going to be a smack on the wrist. Or it may not. They may surprise us, right? It may not. It may be, I don't know. He may get 20 years. Who knows? But definitely, I'm with you 100%
you said it
on
best,
that.
though. You said it best. you said best, Doc. You said it best. You said, man, like the thing was so crazy and popped off so hard. You know, you had China. You know, people riding to China. So it was he never was gonna get off on that one. That was a, you know, hell, I don't went outside if he'd got off of that one. I tightened up the sneakers. Yeah, he had to go to jail. He had to go to jail. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to go.
I got my vaccine. I feel so good.
You know what? And I'm glad that you mentioned. Look, I'm glad. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I said I'm glad that you mentioned vaccine.
Yep.
Because we had that discussion coming up on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Family, if you don't already know, I'm going to be sitting down with Brother Ankh West and Brother Rizza Islam to discuss vaccines and Black people. It's going to be a very, very powerful discussion. Tune in this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on my channel. Okay, right here on my channel. And we're going to be discussing vaccination. Okay, we're going to be talking about why Black people, or why is vaccine hesitancy so high in the Black community? Where did that come from? You know, we're going to be talking about, alternatives. Is there an alternative to vaccine? We're going to be talking about, is vaccines dangerous or not dangerous? And obviously, Brother you don't feel like they're dangerous because you just said that you took your vaccine, right?
Yeah.
What can the people expect on Sunday from you? And he also, shout out to Atlanta. I was just in Atlanta with Brother Ankh, and we discussed this last night. So I will be posting the video tonight or tomorrow of me and Brother Ankh building. It was a beautiful build. In Atlanta. I also had an opportunity to slide past and see other elders in Atlanta while I was there. It was just a beautiful, beautiful time. All right,
yeah,
Brother
you did a drive-by.
Cut off your camera. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to wait till I get.
Yeah, that was a drive-by.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. All right. What can the people? I can hear you. What can the people expect from you?
Hold on, let me get on that. I'm
getting ready to kick you off the live stream.
No, you're not. I'm gonna get on the live stream from my computer. Hold on.
Did you?
Hold on. I'm gonna get on the live stream.
Okay, I'll hold on. So for those, okay, cool. For those who are just tuning in, family, I was talking about the verdict today. Derek Chauvin was found guilty on all counts. And I just wanted to address the Black folks who are running around here celebrating. And hold on, let me mute you. I was talking about the Black folks running around here celebrating the verdict. And and I'm not saying that we don't deserve the candy or feel like, okay, he was convicted at least, for the murder of George Floyd. So yes, that. But I want Black people to understand that we have to keep our eye on winning the war. We want full and complete freedom. And I also wanted Black folks to understand that this verdict of guilty wasn't because these white folks are changing. It's not because the system is changing. It's because they wanted to save face in front of the world. See, we got to understand, family, that the world saw this. Just like back in the day, let me give you an example. So a lot of the legislation that was passed by Lyndon B. Johnson during that time, he didn't want to, he had records of Lyndon B. Johnson calling Dr. King all kinds of niggas, so it wasn't like he loved Black people. But what Dr. King and them did with their nonviolent strategy, and I know that some people have, some issues with the nonviolent strategy, but what that strategy did was expose the circumstance of Black people, or what was going on, the condition and the treatment of Black people to the world. And so Lyndon B. Johnson, he had no choice. He was kind of, I don't want to say bullied into it, but he was forced in a sense. Just like Lerone Bennett wrote the book Forced into Glory about Abraham Lincoln. And now Abraham Lincoln didn't sign the Emancipation Proclamation because he cared about Black people. He was racist like all of them. We got quotes of Abraham Lincoln talking about the white race proclamation. Abraham Lincoln was forced into glory. Shout out to the ancestor, Lerone Bennett, who wrote a thick book that I have in my house about Abraham Lincoln and how he was forced into glory. Lyndon B. Johnson was also forced into glory. And today they were forced into glory because it went around the world. And so that's what we're talking about today. I had Brother Ankh come on, and, you know, he said he was happy that the family received some type of monetary compensation. You know, they received justice in his opinion. He said he doesn't feel like that extends to all people, but just with the family, just being happy for the family. And I understand that perspective. I do. I totally understand that perspective. However, I want to say, Black people, again, we have to keep our eyes on winning the war. All right, and the war is full and complete freedom. But back to you, Brother Ankh. So what can the family expect to see on Saturday? What can they expect?
Well, I'm retired from the war. I ain't fighting the war with y'all no more. I'm gonna let y'all fight the damn war. I'm gonna fight the war with my kids and everybody else. Y'all can have the revolution. I played my part. Yeah, I mean, I've been shot up quite a few times in the war. And all good Marines and all good soldiers know once you get hit a couple times, they send you home. So I'm officially out that battle. Y'all can go ahead. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. All right, listen, you're having fun. So this is what you can.
What's up with Saturday, Brother Ankh?
No, I just want everybody to know, shout out to the family, man. Shout out to the pseudo killers, the Amaral Squad, Mazakan Warriors, Kofi Pie Research Team, man. Shout out to brother Sean P, Science of Sean, man. You know, shout out to all them brothers, man, all they work. I just want to say that I appreciate the manner in which you organize the conversation. I just appreciate that. And I think this is one of the best conversations of the year. Okay, you actually get a chance to hold on one second. God damn it, man. Let my nephew in. Hold on.
All right, so he's getting ready to let somebody. But the conversation that he's talking about is going down this Saturday on my channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're talking about the COVID-19 vaccine. Should Black people be concerned? Now, this is part 2. Part 1, try to check that out. During part 1, I brought on Brother Ini Harik, Brother Sean P. from Bossy Warrior Clan to sit down with Baba Kiti, who is a holistic health specialist, to talk about vaccination. So if you did not watch part 1 of the talk, COVID-19 vaccine, should Black people be concerned? Be sure to just go to YouTube, type that in, Dr. Ma'at, should Black people be concerned about the COVID-19, and that conversation will come up. But it was a really, really good discussion. Baba Kiti argued as a holistic health doctor that no, we don't need vaccines. They're dangerous, they're poisonous, there are other alternatives. He started talking about food and the importance of eating healthy foods and just maintaining a healthy immune system. Brother Sean P, he said no. Brother Sean P said he's a pro-vaxxer, and he was like, no, we need to take the vaccines. The vaccines are the best weapon, and he was arguing that vaccines are the best weapon against fighting pathogens and diseases. And so if you did not watch part 1, be sure to go back and watch part 1 before Saturday. On Saturday, we're going to do part 2, all right, with Brother Ankh West and Brother Rizza Islam. If any of you saw Hidden Colors, part 5, shout out to Brother Tariq Nasheed. He's getting ready to drop Buck Breaking on April the 30th. Yours truly is in that documentary. So I'll be watching that with my family on April the 30th. And Brother Tariq said, he's like, I got you all through there, Dr. Ma'at. So I'm just really excited to see how he brought everything together. But anyway, in Hidden Colors Part 5, you had Brother Rizza Islam, Brother Polite, and I want to say it was a couple of other individuals who were, talking that anti-vax stuff. I mean, they were like, no. And recently, the Nation of Islam, they have been very vocal opponents about, very vocal opponents of, taking the vaccine. The Nation of Islam, they're actually in the neighborhoods handing out pamphlets right now, telling Black people don't take their vaccine. Minister Farrakhan, I want to say it was either this year or last year, made a statement. He said don't take it. So Brother Rizza Islam is a part of the nation, so we already know that he's anti-vaccine. vaccine. And so I'm gonna sit down with both of these brothers on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, and let me again, if you haven't watched part one, be sure to watch part one before you tune in this Saturday and watch part two. Also, last Friday, I did a video, and a lot of people are cracking up. They love the video, but I wore a blonde wig to make a point, and the topic was, do black women strive to look like white women? If you did not watch that video, you're going to be in for a treat. Your sister, Dr. Ma'at, was on there with a blonde wig, and just, talking. And so I looked totally ridiculous, but I wore the wig to make a point. And so if you didn't check out that video, be sure to check out that video. Last but not least, I revived the RAM, the RAM Book Club, but I changed the name. It's now called the Read Book Club. And the name of the name of the first book that we're reading is called Birth of a Nation by Dr. Jacqueline Badalore. And in that book, she talks about the invention of white people and how it's relevant today and how it impacts people who are classified as non-white. I'm telling you, family, even if you don't have the book, go back and listen to the discussion. All right, the introduction was, it was breathtaking. It was phenomenal. You had the introduction. She laid down her premise about whiteness and how it's an invention, a human category that was invented. And she talked about how it gave psychological and material value to people who were declared as white, and it dehumanized people who were declared as non-white. And so in that introduction, she summarized the book. We had a discussion on that. It's only like a 30-minute discussion. And then just this past Sunday, we discussed chapter 1. Even if you don't have the book, if you have the book and haven't read it, be sure to listen to those discussions. A lot of information was dropped. A lot of powerful information was dropped during that discussion. And so we're going to be discussing chapter 2 this Sunday. All right, so there's a lot of things going on. So this Saturday, we had the vaccine discussion. On Sunday, we're going to be discussing chapter 2 of the book. And then next week, I'll be dropping a video on the Black Lives Matter, okay, because I'm tired of George Trump running around here getting on the case. He's the ambulance chaser. So I'm going to put him on the scales of my eye next week. And we're going to look at him and examine him and what he's doing. And he's absolutely doing nothing for the community. All he's doing is capitalizing off of black blood, black pain, and the black struggle. So just like Jay-Z and them said, I'm going to put them on that Summer Jam screen, Dr. Ma'at is going to put him on the scales of my eye. That's what we're going to do next week. And also, one of my students at Morgan State University, he wants to school next Friday. That's really fun. The Morgan State students will be in the them tuned in next Friday. But I'm going to first one. And talking, so I'm on my Derek Jackson tip, and this was definitely a Kanye West rant. But thank you all for listening to my rant. I will see you all on Saturday. Peace, love, and light.